why am I never content where I'm at career-wise, and why do I always find myself looking for like the next big thing?
Dude. Well, pull up a seat, Pot. I'm Kettle. Let's talk. Let's talk.
All right.
How old are you, man?
I am 22 years old.
22. Tell me about your career journey, or why are you already worried about this?
Yeah, so I'm actually a football coach.
Okay.
I coached at a D1 college for a couple years, and then I moved to another state to coach in a much like larger role at like a high school, a historical, really, really good high school.
Okay.
I left that job a couple months ago to where I'm at in my current role. I'm in a pretty similar role at a different high school in a different state. And, we're just a couple weeks into the season, and I find myself like looking at other programs, like looking at other coaches, just kind of scouting out like potential opportunities for the end of this year. And I want to be able to set roots somewhere like soon. And, quit moving around here, there, and everywhere.
Why have you left? Why'd you leave the university?
I felt that I was at a really like successful big time place, but I felt like the role I was in, I wasn't maximizing my abilities. Like I was in a pretty small role at a big place instead of a bigger role at a small place, which was the second job.
Okay. Why'd you leave the first high school?
We were very successful. We lost in the state championship, but I felt like me and the head coach kind of didn't have the same alignment views wise.
What does that mean?
He was very. I left, and another reason I left college was I wanted a work-life balance, and he was. We were a high school, and he was wanting us to work, 10, 12, 14 hours a day, for high school football. And that just where I was in my life and relationships and stuff like that, that just wasn't working for me.
Okay. Two big flags are flying here. Can I call them both out? Is that cool?
Yeah.
All right. Number one, you have a major problem with authority. Where does that come from?
That's a great, that's a great, I don't know where it comes from. I'm just being.
Do you have a good relationship with your old man?
He passed a few years ago, but we had a great relationship when he was alive.
What about your mom?
Amazing relationship. She's one of my best friends.
Okay. But you don't like being told what to do, huh? I don't either, by the way. Drives me crazy. It sets off something inside of me that is irrational.
Yeah, absolutely. I relate at a high level.
So I guess the first thing out of the gate is, can I tell you something that happened last night?
Yeah.
Like just last night. Yesterday, I was in Indianapolis speaking for a couple of hours to a group of police chiefs and fire chiefs about mental health stuff. Okay. I got on a plane, caught a flight out, flew home just in time to drive over to the local comedy club here in Nashville. And I did 10 minutes on one stage on one side of the club and 8 minutes on the other side of the club. At the 10-minute mark, a really famous comedian was in there watching my set, and the crowd was really rough. The room was half filled. It was like a showcase night, so they weren't coming to see any one person. The room was half full, and it was a grind. And a really famous comedian was sitting in there watching me. He didn't crack a smile once. I then got off the stage, and him and I walked around because we were both on the other stage, and I blew my clock by 2.5 minutes, which is a big no-no in that world. And I walked back to the green room, and he said, "Hey, how much time did you have?" He called me out, and we had a pretty direct conversation about it. And here's the thing. I have a very successful day job, and I'm pretty good at public speaking. Somebody just paid me a whole bunch of money to fly to Indianapolis to do that. And then I walked into a room where I'm trying to learn a new craft, and I have to submit myself to masters in order to get good at it. You see what I'm saying? And I think I'm good on stage. I'm pretty good at it. I make a good living doing it. And I'm trying to learn a whole new thing. So I have to take it and I have to say, I was wrong. I got to listen to those who are ahead of me, who are wiser, who are more experienced than me. And I have to submit myself to that, or I got to quit and quit walking in the door.
Yeah.
And it's a spiritual exercise for me as much as it is I want to get good at stand-up comedy, right? And so I tell you that to tell you, I'm in my late 40s. You are at the very beginning of your career. If you see yourself being a great football coach one day, a great coach, a great mentor, a great anything, you have to be willing to say these words inside your chest. I don't know everything, and there's a lot I've got to learn.
Right.
And you have to be willing to submit to, this is the way I do it. This is my program. Yes, sir. Or yes, ma'am. This is my school. This is my job. Unless you want to go out on your own, and then you're going to have to deal with the government says this is the rules for this job. And this is it's just the nature of our world. It's reality.
Right.
And I will tell you, I struggle with it, which is why I intentionally put myself in positions where I have to exhale through it, because last night I was wrong. My first set wasn't great. My second set, I blew the clock. I actually had a great one, and I messed up mechanically, and I got called out on it, and he was right, and I'm grateful for the feedback and the coaching, right? So I guess challenge number one is you're going to be job hopping everywhere, always looking for the next thing, unless you exhale and make peace for, I'm on somebody else's train, and I'm here to learn as much as I can and plug in as much as I can. For me in my life, I'm going to tell you, I had to make rules for myself. I will not look at another job application for 1 calendar year, period. Because like you, I would take a job, and within 4 or 5 months, I was already scanning the ads for something else. And like you, my wife said, I can't keep doing this. Got to have some roots somewhere, right? And that's fair. Here's the second thing. And I'm going to get some pushback for this. I don't really care. Your 20s, brother, is not the time for balance. And if you'd rather hang out with your buddies, if you'd rather go do some cool things, coaching is not the job for you. It's just not. It's a 24/7, 365 job, especially during season.
Oh, yeah.
It's a busy life. And so you need to ask yourself, have I been prepping for a thing and now I'm 22, I've got a few years experience doing it? I don't want to do this thing. And then you have to deal with the identity shift and all that. That's all good. I did it for 2 years. I was a high school coach at a Super 5A high school in Texas. And after 2 years, I thought, this is awesome and I love the job, but it's not for me. And then I didn't know who I was. So let me ask you, is this job not for you?
No, ever since I've been, 6, 7 years old, it's what I wanted. And
okay, but you got it. You got it. And your 6-year-old isn't driving anymore. 6-year-olds are not allowed to buy beer because they're 6. Right?
Correct.
You're 22. You got 4 years experience now. You should be watching tape right now instead of being on this call. You're in the middle of season, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Correct. So do you want this to be your life?
And yeah, I mean, I do.
Okay. And it will cost you your 20s.
Yeah.
That's the expense.
Yeah.
It just will. And at the high school level, you got to coach 2 sports. And so it's going to cost you all of your 20s, right?
Right.
And there's something about making peace with that, saying, okay, I'm investing right now. I'm putting a ton of money in the account for 35 and 45-year-old me.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no doubt. And I guess, when I say like work-life balance, I've accepted that. I think the one thing is trying to juggle, a new marriage and be present when I am home, as opposed to, like, I don't care about going out with my friends. I don't care about, this, that, or the other. But like, I want to be a good husband, a new husband, while being a successful and all-in coach. And I think that's where I'm really, really struggling.
That's amazing. How long you been married, man? 22. You're young. Good for you. How old are you? I mean, how long you been married?
We just passed a month, so about a month and a half.
Okay, 1 month in. Okay, so y'all got married right before season.
Yeah, we knew it was the summer or bust. So
okay.
Yeah.
Just with all due respect, you're way too soon into this thing to be worried about existential stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all got married right before the middle of a season. Hopefully y'all had that conversation. She may be experiencing it differently now that it's reality. Right. You may be experiencing it differently than reality, but this is just the most chaotic time of the year, right? For both of you. Mm-hmm. And so the question y'all have to ask yourselves is, in those pockets when we do have time together, which for people who are listening, a high school football coach is there at 6 a.m., they are home. The practice ends at 5 or 6, and then they are either on the road scouting other teams or they're watching film. This is 6 a.m. to midnight, 5 or 6 days a week, right?
Correct. Absolutely.
Yeah. Not to mention your students have challenges. You probably have to teach too. What's your classroom assignments?
So I'm actually the ISS proctor.
Oh, God almighty, dude. School. So you're dealing with students who are struggling, don't want to be there, behavioral challenges, all kind of mess, right?
Oh, yeah. All day.
So you can do a couple of things. You can walk into ISS pissed off that you're there. Or you can begin to, think of it this way. I had some buddies that were actors. They were trying to get auditions. And they realized when they were waiting tables, they could play a role for every different table. And they turned their 6-hour shift into 6 hours of acting class. You can walk into ISS and decide, I am going to learn how to connect with every one of these young people. I'm not going to be successful, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try to have a human connection with every one of these kids. And after this year, you'll be 1,000 times better coach, 1,000 times better dad, and 1,000 times better human. You could choose to look at it like that. It's not going to make the day in and day out any easier. But there's these moments where you can practice. Or you can do what Mike Leach did and just make notes all the time. When he saw a play and be like, I would have called this play. I'm just going to keep a log. And he changed the game of football. You can, when your head coach says, this is what we're going to run, you can say, man, I would have called another play. And you can begin to practice what I do as a head coach one day. Or you can just sit there pissed off, like, I wouldn't have done that. It's bullcrap. Like, you get what I'm saying? It's all about attitude, but the hours you're going to have to work are the hours you're going to have to work. And the assignments you're going to have are the assignments you're going to have. You get to choose whether this is making me stronger and better for the thing I want to be, or I'm going to fight this. I'm going to move. And you know as well as I do, there are journeyman coaches that move every year. Mm-hmm. And they get a reputation, and they don't care about the kids. They care about the scoreboard. And more importantly, they care about their reputation, and they hop and they hop and they hop. And here's the thing. Some of them are successful, but they live and die by a scoreboard. And then there's those coaches that their players would run through a brick wall for, that their communities love, and they have good lives and really, really busy football seasons. And this is every job. This is sales jobs. This is plumbing jobs. This is electricity jobs. This is all jobs have these seasons. And you get to decide what attitude I'm going to bring to it. But man, you are 1 month into a brand new marriage. You're 22 years old. You're on your third job already. I think you're due for a big exhale. Whew. You're putting a ton of pressure on yourself. And when you put that pressure on yourself, you blame the leaders in your life for the pressure. You get what I'm saying?
No doubt. Absolutely.
Are you a good coach?
I like to think so.
Forget the scoreboard. Are you good at connecting with young people?
Yeah, I am.
Do you see value in helping young people see purpose and value in their lives that they can't yet see?
Absolutely.
Do you find purpose and value in seeing potential in a kid and walking alongside him and pushing him until he can or she can reach potential they never knew possible?
100%.
That's awesome. In the same way, let head coaches and principals and other leaders and even young people do the same for you.